Since I've bought and sold the Fuji X100V, I've been on a hunt to buy a cheap and good digicam to replace it with. I've tried a cheap $25 Canon PowerShot 490A, and even though I think this is a super cool camera, it's really tiny and compact, it easily fits into your pocket, and the images were pretty great, especially for the price. The thing that bothered me was the fact that it wasn't able to shoot raw photos. So I kept on looking for another digicam until a friend of me, Yalte, recommended me the Lumix LX3. He actually bought it himself like a couple of weeks ago and he was really impressed with the results. He even took it on a trip to Madeira with him as the only camera he brought with him, but he said that it was such a cool camera, especially considering the price, because we got it both for $100, and the fact that it's able to shoot raw and it has a CCD sensor which actually processes the highlights different compared to the new CMOS sensors that we have these days. And I thought, I actually recently switched to the Lumix S5 Mark II, and this could be the perfect opportunity to see what the S5 Mark II is capable of compared to a cheap $100 Lumix LX3. The LX3 is released in 2008 and the S5 Mark II is released this year, so it's like 15 years of technology apart from each other, so it's going to be a really cool comparison. And to make this video a little bit more interesting, we're going to play a little game. I'm going to show you the before and after photos shot on each camera, and you will have to guess which photo is shot on which camera. I'm really curious to see how many guesses that we're going to be right about. Before we go over to the fun part, we're going to run through a couple of specs. Not that I really care about them too much, but yeah, I just want to provide them to you guys. So the Lumix LX3 has a 12 megapixel CCD sensor, 24mm wide angle, 2.5 optical zoom lens from Leica. Yeah, you heard that right, from Leica. So this is really cool, and Panasonic really has a long-term partnership to this date with Leica, so that's really cool, especially to have in such a cheap camera. The aperture goes from f2 till f2.8 depending on the focal length you're shooting at. The camera has image stabilization, you're able to shoot RAW and JPEGs, and it even has its own film simulation kind of features. It obviously doesn't go as in-depth as on the Fuji X100V or the Ricoh GR3 for example, but keep in mind that this is a camera that's released in 2008, so that's really impressive. The ISO goes up to 3200, you're able to shoot manually on it, and that's about it. And for the Lumix S5 Mark II, I shot every photo with the Sigma 28 to 70mm f2.8. And for the specs of the Lumix S5 Mark II, you just have to know that this camera is one of the best, if not the best, hybrid camera on the market, especially if you consider the price to value ratio. That's all you need to know about it. And this setup costs $3,000. I think it's super impressive to see what this little camera is capable of. You probably weren't able to really guess which photo was shot on which camera. I think the only giveaways could have been the focal length on which the photos were shot on and the dynamic range. But other than that, the colors, yeah, the details, everything just look really great. And maybe the photos of the S5 Mark II look a little bit sharper, but other than that, man, this is just such a great little camera. And obviously you shouldn't expect the same autofocus results from both cameras because the technology lies 15 years apart, so I wouldn't even go as far as to say that these photos look as good or even better than the Fuji X100V. And considering the price, it could save you like $1,400. And okay, this camera might not look as good as the Fuji X100V, but I got it in silver and this one looks pretty retro as well, especially considering the leather case that I got with it as well. So, I mean, if you see something like this, why would you get the Fuji X100V? Obviously it's a Fuji and they're beautiful cameras and the colors look amazing, but when you look at these pictures, don't you think that the results are amazing as well? Let me know in the comments down below how many guesses you've had right. Honestly, if I had to do this guessing game, I wouldn't have a clue either on which photo is shot on which camera. And here are a couple of other photos with the Lumix LX3 as well, of which I didn't take a photo with the S5 Mark II. I was extremely surprised to see how good these photos actually look. My friend wasn't lying to me when he tried to convince me to get this camera as well. And obviously not everything is that good. I mean, the autofocus just sucks. The dynamic range could be a bit better as you saw in the comparison photos, but keep in mind guys, this is a camera of 2008 and it costs $100 and the results you can get with it are amazing. I feel like this is the perfect camera to go out, take everywhere with you, take photos of your friends, your family, just take beautiful memories. You can even shoot street photos with these. You can use it as a little tiny travel camera. It's just the reason why I love this so much is because, yeah, when you have a little camera like this, you're just confident that it's going to give you great results and you don't have to bring your whole camera setup with you to, yeah, take great images. Because as the years pass by as a content creator, I try to pack as lightweight as possible. I don't really want the best camera gear anymore. If I need to downgrade a little bit in terms of quality, but the camera is going to be way lighter and way more fun to shoot with, then I'm happily to make the trade-off. I'm definitely going to make a standalone video on this little camera as well, probably a street photography video, so stay tuned for that. And that's about it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!